guys, this is the most crazy information you're ever going to hear today. Forget the Queen's funeral and all this rubbish. This is the main thing you have to know about. Give me 10 minutes, please. Then like and subscribe. Now, we're going to go through the electricity scam. So we're going to go through 3 countries, Israel, UK, and Europe. We'll start with Israel. Israel is a nationalized electricity. There's the electricity company and they provide all the electricity, basically. 80% comes from Israel's offshore gas fields, fixed price. 20% comes from from coal, imported coal. Because the gas is fixed, nothing changed this year. Because the coal isn't 100%, above 100% increase, it required a 5% increase in electricity prices in January, and another 5% in July, leading to overall about 11% increase in prices. Okay, UK, are you ready for this? The UK generates 30% of its energy from wind and solar, another 25% from nuclear. Okay, so both cost nothing. Okay, one is nothing and the other one's already been built and very cheap to run. Both of them. Okay, I'm saying negligible. So we're good at 55. Okay, good. Then we've got another 35 to 40% is generated by gas, and that is half from the UK's own gas fields. Again, no price, no change there. And the other half has to be imported, but that's through long-term contracts. So that would be Norway through a pipeline or Qatar LNG. Okay, but all fixed contracts. So it doesn't matter what happens. The price doesn't change that much. Okay. So far, I hope you've understood that about 70%, 75% of the UK's energy should never change at all, regardless of what's happening in the market, because it's internally, domestically produced or costless, negligible costless. Probably better than Israel, because Israel has very few renewables. Here it's about 30% in the UK. So anyway, so you have 75% there, and for the 15% extra, it's on fixed contracts, leaving 10% to fluctuate depending on what's happening. Oil, and there's only 3.5% is oil, but okay. How does the electricity market work in the UK? So it was nationalized, but then Thatcher broke it up. So now if the power generation companies, 6 of them, they generate the power, the coal plant, the nuclear power plant, the solar plant. They sell it to the national grid. National grid sells it to the retailers, who then sell it to the customer, giving a pretense of a free market and you've got choice. Really, they got no choice because it's all basically fixed by the wholesale price. How is that wholesale price fixed? So those power generators every day go and it's bid, right? And what happens is solar will go £1 for kilowatt hour. I'm throwing numbers out there. £1 for kilowatt hour because we're cheap. We're solar. £2 for nuclear. And then because of this crazy, Russia and everything, £3 for the normal gas fixed contracts. And because of the crazy situation in Russia and everything, the imported gas is at £100, let's say. How does that auction go? It goes by the most expensive. It doesn't go by the cheapest. Because what will happen is they'll go 95% is covered, let's say, from the £1, the £2, and the £3. 95% covered. But I need that 5% coverage. So we have to go and find the lowest bidder for that 5%, otherwise there won't be enough electricity. So they find this guy selling gas from God knows where, Algeria, for market price, spot market price, for £100. That fixes the electricity price. But whoa, you would say that fixes the electricity price for them, for that 10%. No, that's not how it works. That fixes it for everyone. Everyone gets that price. That is called the wholesale price. Once that £100 is fixed, the solar guy gets it, the nuclear guy gets it, the fixed contract gas guy gets it. It goes by the highest price. And the consumer pays the £100 on all of it. That's what happens. That also happens in Europe. But in UK, it's more absurd because in Europe, they've really got no energy themselves. They're highly reliant on Russian gas. They cut off their long-term contracts. They have to buy everything at spot. You can kind of understand why it would go up. But why would a country that is 75% self-reliant in energy and even 15% is long-term contracts, and only 10%, Israel is 20% imported coal. England is 10% reliant on fluctuating prices. And yet they have the highest increase in energy bills of any country anywhere. Forget France, forget Germany, forget all of them. The biggest is the UK, and it's because of this scam. Everyone gets the same price. Now, I'll tell you how deep it goes. The EU has based on the same UK model, right? But we just said they don't produce so much domestically. They have to import. Okay. So what do? They introduce a new piece of legislation. By the way, this is all from Yanis Varoufakis, the ex-Greek finance minister, one of the most brilliant economists, absolute left woke nutcase, but he knows what he's talking about in certain things. You have to take good with bad with everyone. Okay, he's currently a Greek member of parliament, and he stated this. The EU, because everything's ballooning, said, no, we're not going to go like this. We're going to cap the amount of solar, how much they can charge. We're going to cap the amount nuclear can charge. We're going to cap the amount of each thing, how much they can charge. Gas, obviously, is going to have to be, fluctuating, but all these we're going to cap. So he was like, wow, this is pretty good. This is exactly, why should they get £100 per kilowatt hour when they auction themselves at £1? It makes no sense. And they're basically costless. It makes no sense. So, sorry, to choke the tongue. So, what did he do? That was their proposal. So it went through. Now, the problem is this. Europe does the same thing. So they bid, comes to £100. Solar power is capped at £1, but that's not what happens. £100 goes to the solar power. He then has to give back the money to the government. The £99 has to go to the government. Sounds fair, right? Okay, it's not bad. What do they do now then? They take that £99 and they give it to the retailer, the guys actually selling it to subsidize. They actually give it back to the retailer, and so they're taking with one hand and putting it with their other hand. It's a complete scam. They're still, even in Europe, even with this cap, they've still said, you basically pay £100 for every single, whoever your supplier is. We're going by the highest bid in auction, and everyone gets their price. In a pretend module, you take it and you give it back, but then we give it to those retail suppliers. And who are those retail suppliers owned by? The same people that own the power generation. That's why it's a joke. The same people that generate also give out to the customer, because they have to subsidize them at that end, because the wholesale price, remember, the wholesale price is that very high £100, because we go by the wholesale price. It's £100 because we go by the last bid. So they have to be subsidized, that final end. The guy who sells it, right? The guy who sells it to the customer is subsidized, and he gets that money back from the government, essentially. And so it's a win-win. They get it from both ends. It's just one hand giving it to the other hand. That's all that happens in Europe. So both Europe and the UK have the fraudulent disgrace electricity system by this fake market. And that is causing everyone to pay the highest bills, because it really shouldn't happen. You should only be paying that £100 per kilowatt hour for the last 10%. But you pay it for the whole 100%. Welcome to the fraudulent, fake, disgusting system. And that's why I say it should all be nationalized. And that's why France did go ahead and nationalize, against their will, EDF, Electricité de France. Against their will, they nationalized the 20% they didn't own, and now they've taken it all in. So now they don't care about free market or this market thing. It's a load of rubbish to them. Because then now they're just going to shut everyone out, and it's going to be it is renationalized already. That's what everyone should do. But it won't happen, because too many people making way too much money from this. Billions and billions, all that the taxpayer pays for.